They were the ruin of our civilization. Cold machines, unfeeling and unstoppable. Metallic predators, which we called Arg, the great destroyers of our race, that descended from the skies, hell-bent and remorseless, determined to erase what little remained of mankind. At least that is the story that we've told ourselves for generations. That Arg came from beyond the stars, that they are something alien, something unknown. But what if they didn't come from the stars after all? What if the truth was far more grim and hidden behind a veil of betrayal? What if the answer to that question was so dark, so heartbreaking, that we would rather leave it unanswered? Long before the first Ark machines descended, the Earth was already dying. Floods swallowed entire cities, fires raged across continents, and massive earthquakes split the ground itself in revolt. We have decided to refer to that part of history as the collapse. And in the end, when the dust settled, only scattered enclaves of humanity remained. Yet those who could afford it, the rich, the powerful, and the desperate, were able to flee the planet entirely as they built shuttles and vanished into the void above during the event we have called the Exodus. The rest of us, the poor and the unfortunate, were forced to stay behind. For generations, we struggled in the ruins of our civilization, rebuilding, rediscovering, remembering. This was the age of sunrise, a fragile rebirth of humanity's last remnants, our very race clinging to the last straws of survival. And at one point, it almost seemed as if hope was possible. But then the sky burned once again, and this was when the first wave began. From the sky they came, hunters, harvesters, and the flying swarms. Towering above them all were the barons, and these massive behemoths did more damage alone than all of our Ark machines combined. And though we fought back, entire riches were turned to graveyards in their wake. And when we finally defeated them, when the last of the barons fell, their rusting husks became monuments to a war that humanity could never truly win. For though that became the end of the first wave, our nightmare had just begun. Generations later, the second wave began. Newer, deadlier machines. The queens, the bombardiers, and the leapers, all new designs of Ark, proving to be far more advanced than anything that had come before, which then began to pose the question, who improved them? Within Speranza, the conversation among the inhabitants often lands on the origin of Ark. Who are they? Where did they come from? How? But most importantly, why? Raiders are often heard talking about patterns within the machines, things that don't fit the narrative of the alien invasion story. For after all, many of these machines act like surveyors, not soldiers. They have protocols that don't just destroy, but protocols that scans and harvests. They even go as far as to dismantle our structures piece by piece, before they then move on to repurposing these materials. On top of that, some of their architecture and technology is eerie familiar as well. Their machinery and propulsion fits perfectly within our atmosphere, obeying the laws of our planetary physics, while at the same time using both the same shapes and angles, as well as the exact same alloys used in old human construction. On top of that, there is the subject of a Kara spaceport, a relic from the Exodus era. Within it, old robots have been left behind in the sand, deteriorated by the wear and tear of both war and the decay of time. Color-coded walls and buildings make up the entirety of the sector with paint that had been slapped on hastily without any care for human aesthetics. The paint jobs are in essence both crude and meaningless to human eyes, but to machine vision, they could be a system initially designed for robotic recognition, marks for both navigation as well as protection priority. It is almost as if something or someone had planned for this installation to be autonomous without the oversight of humans, hoping to maintain this critical piece of infrastructure for the purpose of utilization in the future. And then there is the largest issue of the Ark threat, the orbiter above. It is the Ark's ultimate weapon, the key to their supremacy on the surface. It is the very reason that our raids are potentially lethal and always cut short. If you dare to stay topside long enough, eventually you will see it. Far beyond the clouds, a giant silhouette will approach with rapid speed. When it crashes into the ground, it is synonymous with an apocalyptic event, the very end of all organic life in the proximity. Yet what the Ark Orbiter truly is unknown. It is neither barren nor queen. It is a massive creation of unknown appearance, for to no one's surprise, not a single raider has ever managed to survive an encounter with the orbiter on the surface. Some speculate that it's a space elevator or a massive drill, the very lifeline of the Ark, connecting Earth to whatever keeps Ark going in the skies above. And this is where the theories begins to twist. For there is something else that is eerie about the Ark, something else that we've all seen, but never questioned. Every single Ark machine we've ever encountered comes from above. They fall from orbit like meteor strikes or dropships, but never, not even once, do we see one being built. Ark has no foundries, no assembly lines, no factories buried beneath the wasteland. When we destroy an Ark, it stays destroyed. Its remains litter the ground, cold, lifeless, and never reclaimed. Whatever intelligence that commands them, it isn't here on Earth. So where is it exactly? If Ark were truly alien, determined to wipe out humanity, wouldn't the first priority be to establish a base of operations, not just a place to process and recycle materials, but more importantly, a place where they could construct replacements, immediately reintroduce reinforcements, and thereby expand their territorial control. Instead, they linger in orbit or perhaps off-world. They harvest raw matter, lift it skyward, and send new machines down in return. This process is not just extremely precarious, it is also paradoxically inefficient for machine design, risky, almost human. Perhaps the ones giving Ark orders isn't a mechanical overmind after all. Perhaps the true answer is much more disturbing than that. For could it be that the small group of mankind who left Earth behind so many generations ago could have become our arch nemesis, the very source of this everlasting torment? The remnants of mankind's exodus, watching us from above, confined to the same orbit or off-world planet to which their ancestors once fled. If that is true, then the sky isn't alien territory, it is occupied human ground, and that means that the Exodus wasn't an escape. No, it was merely a strategic maneuver prior to a calculated genocide. Consider our history, our former brothers and sisters, countless generations after having fled Earth, now orbiting in their sterile arcs, watching us through satellites. They waited for the planet to heal, and when it did, they sent in the machines to prepare the ground, to harvest the resources, and to eliminate the primitives who still clung to the soil. These machines they sent were without the capacity for emotion and sympathy, creations that neither hate us nor understand us, but simply view us as a problem to be solved. In essence, we are the forgotten children of a world they once abandoned, and to them, we are nothing more than interference, weeds to be removed from their garden. From the Alcantara Dam to the ruins of the buried city, Ark strikes the same places again and again: power stations, research domes, and old hydroponic farms. They are not destroying human progress, they are reclaiming it. Every action they take, every route they map, all of it points to one chilling conclusion. Ark isn't trying to end humanity, it is simply preparing for the next phase of it. For years we believed that we were fighting an alien invasion, but what if the truth is far worse than that? What if Ark is actually us, the legacy of the ones who fled, now coming back to finish what they started? Maybe this isn't a war between man and machine. Perhaps it is the oldest story ever told. Not alien against mankind, but mankind against itself. Hey there, Hazmat here. I'd seen a lot of the community engage in speculation as to how and where Ark originally came from, and thought that the subject was quite interesting. So here we are, at the final culmination of my thoughts on the matter. However, what I would love now is to hear your thoughts about Ark's origin, what they're doing here, and what their end goal is ultimately within the world of Ark Raiders. So tell me your thoughts and let me know in the comments below. As always, big thanks goes out to the Hunters Lounge, specifically the exclusive Johnny Sevens, the exclusive Beach Boy, the exclusive War Monk, the exclusive The Cayute, and the exclusive Rat. The VIPs: Kovo Bearslayer, Derivative, Doc Powell, Gino Lucero, Goose, Hambone, Jimeno Bob, Corey Peterson, Michael Furnell, Mortev Menace, Mr. Mouse, Ryan, Hein, Slip, Stasby Aztec, Sunrise Phoenix, TJ Crane, Texas Toast, and the Wizard of Copper. And of course, all the regulars. If you like the content I produce and would like to support the channel, consider signing up as a member on the Patreon for as little as $1 a month. The link is in the description below. And thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.